Okay, so you guys want to be good at data structures and algorithms. And this is exactly where I was a couple years ago when I was first coming out of college. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about the things that I did to actually get good at data structures and algorithms to hopefully fast track your learning so you could be good at them too. So the very first thing that you guys need to do if you guys want to be good at data structures and algorithms is actually understand your why. Right? Why do you want to actually be good at data structures? Why do you want to spend time studying algorithms? And without a strong why, I actually don't think that you guys are going to be willing to put in the work and the effort to actually become good at these topics to do whatever you want to do with them. So for example, my why coming out of college was I had no job offers. I was graduating from New York University and I had studied computer science my past 4 years of college and I basically had nothing to show for it. I now in a few months we're going to be out of school and I need to make sure that I can support myself on my own and ultimately just be a software engineer in the industry. So very quickly I realized that I needed to study these different topics because that's what's asked during coding interviews and that's how I was ultimately going to land a job as a software engineer. So maybe you guys actually have the same why. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you guys are college students right now and you guys are studying to get an internship or a job out of college. Other people might actually be trying to break into the tech industry. Maybe you're in something that's outside of tech right now and you guys are really interested in getting into software engineering and that's great too. So whatever your why is, that's great. I just definitely recommend thinking about it and knowing what it is ahead of time to make sure it's strong enough to make you really want to commit to these different topics and get to wherever you want to be on the other side once you are good at data structures and algorithms. So once you actually have your why and you're sure of whatever it is that you want to do, now you can actually jump into the next part, which is actually starting to learn the data structures. And before we actually even get into the actual data structures part of it, I just want to remind you guys that data structures sounds really complicated, but all data structures are responsible for doing is organizing data inside a memory in different ways. No, I'm serious. That's literally all that they're responsible for, and that's the only reason why you use them. Data structures simply organize data in memory in a variety of different ways, and the way that you might organize that data for that specific problem is really dependent on what you're trying to do. So to get good at data structures and algorithms, luckily I had a class, Data Structures and Algorithms at NYU, because I studied computer science. But I realized that one, not everyone has that luxury, and two, not everyone actually learned during that class like me. So what I actually did was I went back and I started reading all my notes from that class, as well as started writing down things and creating study guides so that I can make sure that I learn data structures the right way this time around. So there's actually a lot of different resources online if you guys want to get into data structures and learn them the proper way. There's a lot of different YouTube videos as well, including an MIT course and a Stanford course on data structures and algorithms, and tons of other sites like Udemy, Udacity to actually learn all these different topics for free or a very small amount of money. Once you guys have actually taken that class and you feel comfortable with the higher level topics, I definitely recommend that you guys actually try and spend some time implementing those data structures like linked lists, stacks, queues, maybe even binary search trees from scratch in the language of your choice. And the reason that you actually want to do this is because actually taking those classes will give you a high level understanding of what those data structures are used for and when you can use them and leverage them in your code. But actually implementing them from scratch in the language of your choice will really get your hands dirty and really teach you the underlying fundamentals of how those data structures work and why. And finally, I also recommend that for learning data structures, you guys do something along the lines of taking notes, even if it's just jotting a couple things in your notepad, or maybe even making a GitHub repository like I did. When I first learned data structures myself, going back and going through all this material, I wanted to make sure that I had super concise notes to actually remember what these data structures did, how they did them, and why they did them. So for me, I started a GitHub repository, and if you guys want to use that, that actually has close to like 50,000 stars now, so it's been pretty helpful for a lot of people. Once you guys actually understand your data structures now, the next step is to talk about Big O analysis. So Big O analysis is actually one of those other super fancy, super scary phrases, but all it actually means is that it says that my algorithm is guaranteed to run at least this fast. And what I mean by that is a Big O analysis is really a mathematical upper bound on how slow your algorithm might become. So a very simple parallel for real life is really just saying to your friend, hey, I will be there in worst case an hour. That's all it is. That's literally all Big O notation is. It's saying in the worst case, this is what could happen. So if I had n elements and I had to go through every single element for a specific algorithm, I could say that my algorithm runs in O of n time because in the worst case, I will have to traverse all the elements that I'm given and there are n of them. So now that you actually understand data structures, as well as the fact that Big O notation is really just the worst case that a runtime could take for a certain algorithm or a piece of code, if you guys have actually implemented these data structures from scratch and you understand how they work, you can start understanding the runtime of each of those different data structures. So now you'll know that inserting into a linked list might be O of 1 or O of n, depending on whether you insert to the front or the end of a list. You'll also know that if you've created a stack from scratch or you understand how stacks work, you'll know that accessing an element in the stack could be O of n, because you're only allowed to take the top element from the stack, and in the worst case, the element that you need is at the very bottom of the stack. Similarly, if you understand binary search trees and assuming that your binary search tree is balanced correctly, you'll know that searching for an element in a binary search tree gives you log n time. So now that you actually understand the data structures, how they work, and what the different things are that they do, combined with big O analysis, you can understand what kinds of runtimes they'll give you when you use them. So now that you actually understand the runtime of different data structures as well as the big O analysis of each of them, you can start getting into the actual algorithms portion of your study. Right off the bat, there's definitely a lot of different algorithms that you guys should know that are really just classic textbook algorithms, so I definitely recommend that you guys read up on them and you're familiar with them. So some of the sorting algorithms you guys should probably be aware of and be able to actually talk about them and know their runtimes are things like quicksort, merge sort, radix sort, and bucket sort. And then there's literally like endless other algorithms, but there are some based around graphs. There are things like BFS, DFS, Floyd-Warshall, Bellman-Ford, Naughton's, Kruskal's, Prim's, Dijkstra's, and the list kind of just goes on and on. But now once you've actually learned all those different algorithms, you've read through them, you've watched videos on them, you understand how they work as well as the runtimes, now you guys can get into the super interesting part of studying, which is problem solving. Chances are, if you guys are trying to get into the software engineering industry, just knowing these textbook algorithms isn't enough. And the reason for this is because typically during coding interviews, there's a good chance you're not just going to be asked to regurgitate some textbook algorithm like Dijkstra's. Instead, during a coding interview, you'll be doing something that's way more interesting, like solving a super obscure problem statement that's really random and completely unrelated to what you'll do on the job, that's probably just ripped from a website like LeetCode or HackerRank. I know, it's literally so much fun. So this is actually where LeetCode and my channel come in. I recommend that you guys try and solve a problem for 30 to 45 minutes. And if you guys actually can't solve the question, come to my channel and see if I have a solution for it. Or if I don't, try and just look up the solution in LeetCode and try and understand why that solution works before you actually move on to the next problem. I also recommend that you guys attempt these problems in order that makes sense. Start with easier topics and easier problems and slowly move on to harder topics and harder problems to make sure that you build a solid foundation as you go. So as long as you guys make sure that you practice those different problems on LeetCode, probably 2 to 3 a day, and you really make sure that you focus while you do that practice, I have no doubt in my mind that you guys will actually advance and become way better at data structures and algorithms. All right guys, so that's all I have for you guys today. Those are basically the tips and tricks on how I got good at data structures and algorithms and how I think you guys can too. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like and subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll see you guys next time.